All right, TGIF everyone, welcome back to another episode of In Case You Missed It This Week in GovTech. The group is back, and this week we are diving into what's happening in the world of drones. We've seen them above our heads, we've seen them, we may own them and fly them around. My parents actually own them as well, but drones present all kinds of unique opportunities for state and local government agencies. And we're excited to bring on a guest today that is at the center of this entire ecosystem. So not just thinking about the drone companies themselves, but the entire supply chain, the platform that is forming around them. And so we have Yariv Bash, who is CEO of Flytrex, joining us today as we dive into this. Come out to join us today.
Thank you, Dustin. The pleasure is all mine.
So you're doing some really fascinating things with Flytrex, and I know Jed from Government Technologies written about some of the work that your company is doing in the space. Your website is intriguing as well when you start to think about the notion of having this ecosystem to support 5-minute backyard delivery. Tell us a little bit about your company and its history.
So Flytrex is all about bringing your burrito faster to your backyard. That's the end goal. How can we give a better service at a more affordable rate to restaurant chains, retailers, grocery stores, those kind of guys, and just deliver everything to your backyard in a almost Amazon Prime-esque way, but with on demand. So when you're making orders on Amazon Prime, you really don't care about delivery. You just click buy now. The problem is that on demand is too expensive for something like that. But with drones, you can get the same experience. Just, you need tomatoes for your dinner now, just click buy now. You need diapers for the baby in the middle of the night, just click buy now. It's faster than going to the nearest store. And I think that's the end goal of Flytrex as a company and broader vision. You asked about the beginning. Well, we've been there for quite a few years. We were actually the first company in the world to deploy a drone delivery system back in 2017 above the capital of Iceland in Reykjavik. And a year after that, we started working on with the FAA on their IPP, the Integration Pilot Program, basically taking drones from the consumer side and the hobbyists to making that into something commercial, almost Boeing-like, that can fly and service people all over the state.
You had me at faster burritos. But again, thanks for joining us. You've recently received a waiver from the Federal Aviation Administration to expand your drone delivery program into Fayetteville, North Carolina. Can you share with our audience some details about your work in North Carolina, both before and after the waiver?
With pleasure. So in North Carolina, we're basically working with the North Carolina DOT. They are partners for the FAA's IPP program. And over there, we started working with Walmart as well as a few others. And we're currently servicing 2 Walmart locations. It's still small scale. If you happen to live in that specific area in either Rayford or Fayetteville in North Carolina, you can actually order something right now. If you don't and you happen to be in the area, we've got a public spot on each one of those locations. You can just come and experience drone deliveries on your own. You don't have to tell us. That's already running on a daily basis. Now, basically what we've received from the FAA is a bigger approval to reach a few thousands of families, more than 2,000 backyards. As far as we can tell, that's the largest approval that was ever given to a backyard delivery system. And the reason is that Flytrex, for more than 3 years now, has been working with the FAA on getting a commercial type certification. That's the same kind of approval that a Boeing gets for the new Dreamliner before they start selling it, or maybe a bit after they start selling it, but before they can actually start flying. Basically, the FAA said, guys, this is no longer a consumer, a toy. This is going to be huge. We're going to see hundreds of thousands of drones, millions of drones. We have to make sure that the airspace stays safe, that people on the ground stays. Aviation is amazing today, and we just want to make sure that it stays the same. So we basically, for more than 3 years now, had to jump through the different hoops and all the things that the administration has been throwing at us, which we love. We're engineers. We love solving those problems. And as we near the end of the regulatory process, you're starting to see some other companies as well starting to get some nice waivers and approvals just before they get their final type certification, which would just allow us to start deploying stations all over the US.
So, Yariv, from your viewpoint, why is the program in North Carolina so important?
3 years ago, the FAA chose 10 partners to work on commercial drone opportunities. One of them was the North Carolina DOT, and we're part of that program. And I think that in the last 3 years, what we've realized is that the hard part, or the most interesting part as well, is delivering packages for money beyond visual line of sight, because that just takes it to a whole new level. If you want to do surveillance, if you want to send a drone to monitor your fence around your factory, those kind of things, you can do that with a bit simpler waivers. And most of the other programs have been focused on not doing deliveries. But once you want to do deliveries, you have to design a system that qualifies as a commercial airplane. So being part of the NCDOT team has been an incredible experience. And it's not just us. There's another pilot also in Virginia. And you've got companies such as UPS, Amazon, Google, and others that are working on getting their certification for their delivery drones. So I'd say that commercial drones are coming. If you want to do delivery drones, it's a bit harder than the rest.
So what would you tell other city and state officials about the potential for drones in their respective jurisdictions? I mean, when you think about drones and government, you think about the public safety use cases that you talked about. What's the potential here for government, and why is this such an exciting time for them to get involved in this, like North Carolina, Fayetteville, North Carolina has?
It's just better for their for all the people that live there. It's great for the local businesses. If I'm taking $5 per delivery instead of 30% from the local restaurant, like regular on-demand services, everybody profits. I'm bringing more work to the local community. The local community gets to keep most of the revenues that are already there in that ecosystem. And so far, people are basically afraid of 3 things when it comes to drone deliveries. They're afraid about safety, of course, noise, and privacy. So again, safety. Our systems they look like a regular drone. It's on this side. So it looks like a regular drone, but it's really a commercial grade aviation vehicle. And the FAA is taking care of that. When it comes to noise, we've done more than 100,000 flights to date, people's backyards and homes, with 0 complaints about noise. We actually have to pass through certification when it comes to our noise levels as well. The FAA takes care of that as well. And when it comes to privacy, it's really simple. We don't have any cameras on board, so it's a lot more private than any human courier that gets to your to your house to deliver a package.
It's interesting. Earlier, you mentioned jumping through a variety of hoops. When you look at the drones, I know on the research side, we saw a lot of activity in the regulatory landscape as it relates to drones. How are you participating in that conversation and helping to shape legislation?
Being part of the IPP, the Integration Pilot Program of the FAA's IPP, and now being part of the FAA's Beyond program, which is a bit like the continuation of the IPP, you get to talk with the decision maker, you get to hear their thoughts and what they're worried about, and you can comment, and there's actually a dialogue. It's pretty amazing. You've got the FAA is considered the greatest aviation authority in the world. Basically, what we're seeing today is that the rest of the world is waiting for the FAA to have the regulations published before they'll copy-paste them and maybe translate them from feet into meters. But basically, the FAA is paving the way. So working with those decision makers in the FAA, doing weekly calls, or we've got multiple weekly calls with different teams over there, and it's a discussion. We have to make sure that everything stays as safe as it is today on one hand, but on the other hand, everybody understands that this is an amazing opportunity And it's also an amazing opportunity for the US to lead the world. Because if you're dictating the regulations around the world, guess what? The businesses that will be starting to operate in the US, we can then easily expand to other locations as well. So it's just moving forward pretty fast when it comes to legal and regulations. It's not as fast as a SaaS company, as a software as a service company, but it's when it comes to regulations, we're very happy with the progress.
Thank you for all that context. Often when we write about drones in Government Technology Magazine, we're focusing on states in the United States and local areas in this country. So, what you just said about how this has implications for the world, that's kind of an eye-opener for me personally. So that's pretty incredible. To go back to some of the concerns that you addressed earlier, such as privacy, I was just curious, how is privacy so protected in this situation? In other words, how do you reassure people that privacy is not going to be an issue here?
So again, I can only speak about our system, and basically our drones don't have any cameras at all. So there's no privacy issue. I'm just like a human courier. You just go to the app, make an order, and then there's a dumb drone without any sensors or optical sensors on it that delivers your package. And for all that I care, you might want to get dressed when a human courier knocks on your door. If it's your backyard, you can walk in your pajamas. I don't care. Nobody's going to see you. The drone isn't going to see you. There's no sensor looking at you. So again, it's even besides being greener and more affordable, it's a lot more private than anything else.
Yeah, I've got a question kind of related to the platform dynamic of what you're assembling. Now, you're kind of creating and tapping into this ecosystem, right, where people don't have to, if I'm a restaurant or if I'm a business trying to get goods in the hands of consumers, I don't have to go buy this costly infrastructure, worry about privacy or anything else. So who are kind of your partners, and how do people take advantage or tap into this platform that you're building? How are you working with maybe some of the businesses in Fayetteville today on that?
So basically, we offer an end-to-end solution. You really don't care about drones. For all that you care, it could be a human runner or someone on a bike. We just have a human being that walks into the restaurant or retail spot, picks up the order just like any other human courier, but then that guy can just take a few orders or different packages in the shopping center. We like to work from shopping centers, and brings it to the launch point. And over there's another guy that just loads drones on the packages on the drones and presses a green button on the tablet, on the iPad. There's no joystick or anything like that. So the offering for those different restaurants and businesses is very simple. Give us a package, tell us where to send it, and we'll make sure it arrives a lot faster than any other way.
That's incredible. And one thing that's important is having a vision for the future of the industry. It sounds like you do, but in the next 5 years, what are some of the new things that residents and governments might expect to see from drone delivery services?
I'm hoping that 5 years from now, drone deliveries will be more of a norm. Not sure if throughout the US, but in a lot of areas. From what we're seeing, once people start using drone deliveries, the first time everybody's excited, there's a drone coming, throwing a package. By the third time, nobody cares. And that's the nice thing, we're seeing customers, they get a notification on their iPhone, and then they go out and pick up the package. And I think that's what we want to see. That people aren't using it for the novelty, but because it's better. And as we progress, we'll be able to do pickups. So you can talk about delivering packages between two people or point to point, and governments can enjoy that as well. Our specific system is more for the high volume, short range kind of deliveries. So it's really meant for the retail, groceries, meals, those kind of packages. But by then you're already seeing companies doing point to point deliveries. There are a few amazing companies doing long-range medical supplies, delivering, life-saving medical supplies 50 miles away, dropping it with a parachute or landing with their VTOL. So the amount or the number of use cases for drone deliveries is really infinite. And because the FAA's the approach is walk or crawl, walk, run, and the FAA is taking it very seriously, we're going to end up with a system that can support all those different use cases on a very large scale.
It's just really fascinating stuff. I can't wait to see all of this occur and see how it works out. Yariv, thanks again for talking to us. What's next for Flytrex, and how can people find out more about Flytrex?
So for us, it's going to be about deploying stations and making people's lives a bit easier. If you want to learn more, you can hop to flytrex.com. You can like us on Facebook. And once we deploy a station in your area, you're more than welcome to just join the revolution. And if you happen to be in the Raleigh area, you can drive to either Rayford or Fayetteville and actually experience it for yourself with our public point. You don't have to tell anyone or disturb anyone in his backyard.
Yariv, thanks again for answering all of our questions and informing us about a very interesting future indeed. So that concludes this episode of In Case You Missed It. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. We're actually going to be taking a break because we have a holiday coming up. So we will start back again with In Case You Missed It after the July 4th holiday. And we look forward to seeing you again.